Why are people afraid of change? Change is one of the most natural parts of life. Everything around us is constantly changing: the weather, the seasons, our bodies, the people we know, and the world itself. Yet, even though change happens all the time, many people are deeply afraid of it. Whether it is changing jobs, moving to a new city, ending a relationship, or trying something new, fear often shows up. The question is, why does something so normal feel so scary? To understand this fear, we need to start with how the human brain works. Our brains are designed to keep us safe. From ancient times, survival depended on being able to predict danger. Anything new or unfamiliar could have been a threat, so our ancestors were wired to be cautious. That part of the brain still works the same way today. When we face change, our brain sends a signal that says, "Be careful. This is unknown." It is not that the change itself is dangerous, but our brain reacts as if it might be. Another reason people fear change is because it brings uncertainty. Human beings like to feel in control. We feel comfortable when we know what is going to happen next. When change comes, it often takes away that sense of control. Suddenly, we are not sure how things will turn out. Will this new job be better or worse? Will this move make me happy or lonely? Will I succeed or fail? These kinds of questions make us feel uneasy. The fear of the unknown makes us want to stay where we are, even if where we are is not perfect. People are also afraid of change because of the risk of failure. Change often means starting something new, learning new things, or stepping outside of our comfort zones. That can lead to mistakes, struggles, or not reaching our goals. And for many people, the thought of failing is terrifying. They imagine what others will say or how they will feel if things do not go as planned. This fear can be strong enough to keep someone stuck in the same situation for years, simply to avoid the pain of failing. There is also the fear of loss. Change sometimes means letting go of things we are attached to. It could be a routine, a relationship, a job, or a lifestyle. Even if those things are no longer good for us, they still feel familiar. People often prefer something bad that is familiar over something unknown that might be better. That is because letting go creates sadness, grief, or emotional pain. So instead of facing those emotions, people avoid change. Sometimes, people fear change because of past experiences. If someone went through a big change before and it did not go well, they might carry that fear into the future. For example, someone who moved to a new place and felt lonely might hesitate to move again. Or someone who started a business and failed might be afraid to try again. These past memories shape the way the mind reacts to new changes, even if the new situation is completely different. Cultural and family beliefs also play a role in the fear of change. Many people grow up hearing messages like, "Do not take risks, stay where it is safe," or, "Better the devil you know than the devil you do not." These ideas become part of how they see the world. So when a new opportunity comes, their inner voice says, "Be careful, this is not how things are done." This fear is not always based on facts, but on old beliefs that were passed down through generations. Another interesting reason why people fear change is identity. Over time, we build a picture of who we are. For example, someone might see themselves as a teacher, a parent, or a person who lives in a certain place. When change threatens that identity, it can feel confusing or scary. If I am no longer doing this job, who am I? If I leave this relationship, what does that say about me? This fear of losing our identity makes us resist change, even if the change might lead to growth. Psychologists also explain that fear of change can come from perfectionism. Some people want everything to be just right before they make a move. They feel like they need a perfect plan, perfect timing, or perfect conditions. But because perfection is impossible, they never take action. They stay stuck, waiting for the right moment that never comes. This need for control and fear of doing things imperfectly becomes a major roadblock. So, what can be done to overcome the fear of change? The first step is awareness. When you recognize that fear is a normal part of the process, you stop seeing it as a sign that something is wrong. Instead, you can say, "This is just my brain trying to protect me." It does not mean the change is bad. Naming the fear helps take away some of its power. Another helpful step is to take small actions. You do not need to make huge changes all at once. Start with tiny steps that move you in the direction you want to go. Each small win builds confidence. For example, if you want to change careers, you could start by talking to someone in that field, taking an online course, or updating your resume. These actions might seem small, but they break the cycle of fear and help you move forward. It is also important to focus on what you can control. Change always involves some things that are out of your hands. But there are also many things you can influence, like your mindset, your attitude, and your choices. By shifting your attention to these areas, you feel more empowered and less overwhelmed. Another powerful tool is imagining the best-case scenario. The mind often goes straight to the worst outcomes. What if it fails? What if I am unhappy? What if it is too hard? But what if it works out better than you ever expected? What if you grow, thrive, and discover something amazing about yourself? By focusing on the positive possibilities, you can balance out the fear and create a more realistic picture. Support from others also makes a big difference. Talk to friends, family members, or mentors who can encourage you and share their own stories of change. Knowing that others have faced similar fears and come out stronger can give you the strength to keep going. Sometimes just hearing the words, "I believe in you," is enough to push past the fear. Lastly, it is important to remember that change is part of life. Growth always involves some level of discomfort. But every time you face a fear and keep going, you build courage. You learn that you are stronger than you thought. And with each step, change becomes less frightening and more exciting. In the end, fear of change is not a flaw. It is part of being human. But with understanding, support, and the right mindset, you can move through the fear and create a life that is not based on avoiding pain, but on embracing growth. Change is not the enemy. It is the path to becoming the best version of yourself. If you enjoyed this article and want to learn more about how psychology can help you understand yourself and others better, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing powerful insights that can change lives. Thank you for watching.